e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, knight takes d4, knight takes d4, e takes d4, queen takes d4, knight e7, bishop, knight c6, queen d5, queen f6, knight c3, bishop b4, bishop d2, d6, bishop b5, bishop d7, queen c4, bishop c5, castle kingside, castle kingside, queen d3, knight e5, queen g3, bishop takes b5, knight takes c6, knight c3, knight c4, bishop g5, queen g6, b3, f6, bishop c1, queen takes g3, h takes g3, bishop d4, b takes c4, bishop takes c3, rook b6, rook d1, rook a, rook b3, bishop a5, f3, f5, e takes, rook e2, g4, rook takes, bishop f4, rook takes c4, bishop takes d6, rook e8, rook a3, h6, bishop, rook e2, rook d8 check, king h7, rook c8, rook c1 check, king h2, rook e1, king h3, rook h1 check, bishop h2, bishop c3, f4, bishop d2, g3, bishop a5, rook e3, rook c2, g5, rook h takes, king g4, h5, king f3, rook h f2 check, king e4, g6, rook c7 check, king g8, king e5, rook c5 check, king f6, rook takes f5 check, king, rook g7 check, king h8, king h6, bishop, rook e6, rook f5, rook, king, rook g6 check, king f8, rook takes c6, rook f6 check, king e8, g6, rook c3, g4, bishop f8 check, rook takes f8 check, king takes f8, g7 check, king f7, rook h8, rook, king h7,